They're behind it.
Who's driving the
Tax there.
number 7 tax?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to hear from our points leader in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and that is Regan Smith. He drives the number 7 TaxSlayer.com Chevrolet for JR Motorsports. And Regan, you're off to a really good start here at the Nationwide Series. You're a points leader for multiple weeks, and you're coming to Michigan. Just talk about your outlook for this weekend.
Well, I think our outlook for this weekend's good. We won this race last year and felt like we had a strong car all weekend. I think we're going to have the same strength out of our TaxSlayer Chevy this weekend, and I look for the same things. I think anytime you have the notes from a win to go back to a racetrack with and follow up with, obviously you have a lot of confidence, and we have those notes, so we'll look to those and learn what we can from them, and hopefully the car will be just as fast as it was last year.
Thank you, Regan, and certainly he is our defending race winner here at Michigan. Questions for Regan Smith? If you have one, raise your hand, and we'll get you a wireless mic. Questions for Regan Smith? Right over here, Mike, to the left.
Yeah, Regan, obviously you'd like to be back in Cup, and I'm sure you'll get there again. But are you having fun in this series, and what are you learning, running in Nationwide?
Yeah, well, I definitely, I want to get back there. That's been the goal from the start, from when I took the step back to the Nationwide stuff. So, it's I think it's a situation where I've been having a blast. I go out there and I got cars that are capable of winning every week, running up front every week, and as a driver, that's all you can ask for. That's you want to be competitive, you want to be challenging for victories as much as you can. Some weeks there's things we can do better. Some weeks there's things that we do well, and it just maybe doesn't pay off, or it does pay off. It depends, but outside of that, it's it's been a lot of fun. I've been fortunate to have had the opportunity to come here and drive for Dal and Kelly and Rick, and learned a lot. I think the biggest takeaway I have is just how much I've learned in the 2 years that I've been here, and how much different as a driver I feel like I am, and how much I've matured as a driver, and understood things better, and you just try to learn every second that you can, and the other stuff, the rest of that stuff will work itself out.
Other questions for Regan? Right here, front row, and then you have one over here to the right. Okay, we'll go Jim and this gentleman here to the right.
Jim Uttershaw, Observer. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about what the kind of atmosphere has been at JRM. You got you traded leading the points, the 2 drivers. You guys obviously in the championship hunt. It's not a chase, so it's still based on points, but you both have won. I know that Kelly and Dale have talked about really wanting to get a championship to kind of cement their involvement. What's it been like at JRM this season with both of you guys in contention?
Well, it's been good. I mean, 2 cars in the top 3, I think, right now. That just doubles your chances of getting that championship and bringing that back to junior motorsports. So, the atmosphere and the attitude has been really strong. Ever since I got there, and it seems like it's continued to grow. Year in, year out, it keeps getting better. I think in particular this season, with the addition of Ernie Cope and making some of the moves and some of the changes that we did, it's taken in where we had 2 really good teams last year. Now we've got 3 teams that all 3 could be out there contending for wins and have. We got 3 cars that have a win already this season, one of which has got 2. So, you just look at the depth, and it's solid. It's from top to bottom. I think there's a lot of strength in the organization.
Would you be surprised if between you and Chase you didn't end up with a championship this year? Or is it too early to tell?
I think it's too early to tell. I mean, you got Elliott who's running well. You got Trevor who's been running well. There's guys that maybe stumbled a little bit early on. Brian Scott seems like he's been really fast a lot, here lately in particular. So it's so early. As I do, Jim, like last year we had the huge points lead leaving here, and all of a sudden, after 2 races after it, we're sitting there and it's a 6-point lead, and everything's completely different. So I think it's probably too early with our point system the way it is to really say, oh, you know, I'll be surprised or I won't be surprised. But having 2 cars up there definitely makes you feel good about it and makes you think, okay, our chances are as good as anybody's, you know, at this point.
Go over here to the right, far right.
Is it safe to say that you have a good handle on this track? I mean, you moved all the way from 20th to 1st last year. What do you think are the keys to clinching a second straight win?
I don't know if you ever have a good handle on any racetrack. We qualified 20th, so we obviously did something wrong there and have to improve there. You know, I'm comfortable here. I've always enjoyed racing at Michigan. I think you know, for whatever reason, it's a track I picked up quick. Even with the old pavement, I almost liked it better than the new at times, you know, just because of the running up by the wall. And I think we're going to see it continue to widen out and move the groove up little by little, you know, each time we come back here. So I anticipate hopefully that'll happen this week. You know, I have a confidence level. Anytime you win somewhere, you have a confidence level of that racetrack, and you feel like you understand what you have to do. So, you know, we'll think back to what we did last year to put ourselves in position to win and to make up the 20 spots, and you know, hopefully it works out the same.
Kenny Bruce here in the middle.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. Regan, as well as you guys have run this year, how do you measure gains as far as, you know, whether or not you guys are improving from week to week? I mean, because obviously, I mean, yeah, if you were winning every week, you would think so. But I mean, top 10s every week out there. So how do you gauge where you guys are and what you might need to do?
Well, I think for the 7 team in particular, you know, we know pretty clearly, okay, top 10s, that's been great. That's you know, a good figure and a good stat for us to have, but that's not going to win the championship. As good as everybody's running this year and as strong as you know, it appears that the 5 or 6 cars that are going to be in the hunt are, it's going to take more than top 10s. You're going to have to get more wins. You're going to have to get top 5s consistently and make that happen. So I think the obvious thing for us would be to say, okay, well, let's get on a top 5 streak, and that's how we measure our gains. You know, once you do that, the next thing is to win more races, as you said, and you know, if you win every week, well, then that's pretty obvious and pretty clear. But even deeper than that, there's just little things, you know, when you sit down and you have your team meetings and you discuss stuff after the race every week, there's little things that you can highlight and say, hey, we did a good job here, or we didn't do a good job here. And maybe it's something as simple as one pit stop halfway through the race, or something, you know, something a little bit more exaggerated, like we just missed it. I mean, for example, Dover, we just missed it at Dover. For whatever reason, I didn't like the feel that I had in my car, and we never got that better all weekend long. So, you know, there's still things you can sit down and figure out and use as a benchmark, even if it's internally. You know, the 9 car ran better than us at Dover, so we can look at them and say, hey, they did better. Why'd they do better, and how do we improve? Do I need to change what I'm doing as a driver to improve, or was there something different on paper that we can look at and do?
Is it harder to make that move from top 10 to top 5? Is the gap really small that takes a tremendous amount of work? Or how difficult is that?
You know, I think on a lot of weekends the gap is extremely small, and it really is just something. Maybe it's one pass on a restart. Maybe it's, you know, restarting on the inside instead of the outside. It's just the simple little things. And I would say, you know, there's at least 5 races this year that we can look back at and say, if, you know, this would have been just a little bit different, it changes the entire outcome for us positionally. So it's really tight. I think from roughly probably 3rd to 7th, it seems like it's tight. It seems like whoever gets out front always has that kind of decided advantage and kind of shows their strength throughout the race. But from 3rd to 7th, it's just little things can change everything.
Regan, thanks for coming in, and certainly good luck this weekend and the rest of the season.
Yeah, thanks. Happy Father's Day to all the dads, too, this weekend, and I'm not going to be a dad, so
Okay.
just to throw that out there. Yeah.
Not yet anyway, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.